Hey everyone, this is Jamie Payne, and thank you so much for being here this week to this video, which is kind of my monthly edition of Memory Planner. And this is January's pages. So welcome to January's pages. I need to have a little disclaimer here with my memory planner. Just for those of you who are new, I am using the Heidi Swapp memory planner insert. This holds 3 months of weekly pages plus 3 monthly calendar pages. This particular take on memory planning is heavily influenced by Heidi Swapp's Stop the Blur video series. And I always take time to watch those every month and see what I can be inspired by to add to my book. Also heavily influenced by Heidi Swapp stamps. This isn't even all of my collection, and yet I am loving everyone and have found myself almost exclusively with these stamps finding their way into the planner. They're just so good. They're just so good. What else is there to say? But they're just so good. So my intent today is to walk through these January pages with you and let you know as well that I have made use of January Stop the Blur kit, and I kind of forgot these little 2 sliders, and I meant to use those better. This tag pad is awesome. Now, this is hitting the weekend before the new Stop the Blur kit becomes available. So if there's still some of these available, you can still get your hands on them. I love the Alphas, use them quite a bit. These were great with the tag, as you will see. And then I like to cut up the printable, or if I've done something else in the effort to create these pages, but I like to cut these up and have them in my little glassine bag, and then I just store them away. And initially, just as a tip, I do store everything in its designated bag. And then later on, as these kits start to break up a little bit, then I start to categorize things together like alpha stickers or regular stickers or these sliders or whatever, or stamps. And so I don't always keep them in these pouches, but to start out I do, because I kind of do remember for a couple months what is in each kit. Okay, for this insert, I started right on the 1st of the year, which was Saturday was the 1st. And I, instead of doing the typical planner approach, I just kind of dedicated it to the new year. And I used the 22 slider and a photo of myself and just kind of played. This was the Stamp Society set that's still available for a few more days from this posting. These are some of the alphas that are available from Heidi Swapp shop. So I just kind of played and made sort of basically a scrapbook page. And I tend to do this. I've done this a couple times. I have a couple different books kind of running. So I've done this a couple different ways in a couple different books. And I really love how that turns out every time. I like just to have like an intro page, if you will. Okay, as we come into this first week, January 3 through 9, I'm just going to kind of walk through some things that I've added in here to just maybe even give some ideas to you. I realize this is not in here like I want it to, but I'm going to pull it out anyway. So as I started off the year, I have the slider with the tag. This photo is supposed to be behind here. I'm not sure what happened. And so I added some journaling, not only on the tag that actually is supposed to slip in here, but I used the stamp set from the month, which is this teeny tiny little tag and these great little tiny words. I have it upside down, and added some more here, and then I've tucked it back behind as well. And so I like how that happened. I loved kind of displaying the tag here at the beginning as well. I used printable pieces to add some journaling, heavy with photos kind of for me on this page spread. I had made a mistake here, so I had to go over with another piece of paper, and then I used the days of the week stamp to stamp out Tuesday. And since I had done that, I went ahead and just randomly added the days of the week stamp in different days. Didn't necessarily feel like I had to use it on every day, but I kind of like the design feature that it provided for me. Expect the unexpected, and the do your best today is part of the printable from January. And I believe I have some journaling under here. Yes, I do. I love to do this. I've explained this before and I'll explain it again because it's worth explaining. When I print my photos at home, when I resize them, I use Photoshop Elements. For the most part, we're all taking photos with our phone, and I tend to take them in portrait mode in terms of the aspect ratio, and I do the same even with my larger camera. So when I go to resize them, and not always, because you can see I have a square photo here, I have a square photo here, but typically when I go to resize them, I just resize the width to 2 inches, and then it automatically goes to 2.76 inches tall. I know, weird little dimension there, but I wanted to just explain that again. And then sometimes I realize I have saved a story image, which then it crops it to a real different 9:6, I think it is. 9:16, I think it's 9:16 aspect ratio. So then it's super long. I just left it. I didn't mess with it. I thought it was a fun little way to kind of add a photo to this page. Notice too, I've got a lot of overlapping in days. It's kind of that whole commonplace feature that goes on with me. I'm not too concerned with making sure the day is actually inside the day. I am really anymore. I'm super happy if I just get the whole spirit of a week on a page. And that's what this is for me. I used an older tag here and I simply just folded over the back, basically the bottom edge of it, added all my journaling in there, and then it just tucks right there. I added some of the January caption stamp to that. Some more of the Stop the Blur Alphas there, capturing Heidi's Alive from the beginning of the month. I love using this stencil here. I love using stencils. Oh my gosh, I've been using stencils so much lately. I'm grabbing here. Okay, well the little one's not here. Wouldn't you know? Okay, this little stencil is just a great tool, and you can find this in Heidi's shop. And so I use this here to create some bullet points, and I colored them in with the colored pencils that would match the color band here. Something that helps me kind of tie my pages in is some design features. So here I have the washi tape from this month's kit, and I have it down here too. So it's kind of going like this, right? Which is what our eye sort of naturally does. Then I have one of the tags here that I stamped with just some of the stamp collaging from the month's stamp kit. And I did the same thing here. And this time I added a little bit of journaling to it as well. I find if I just kind of add a few elements on both sides that it really connects the page for me. And that's not a big, huge, important thing. And a lot of people don't care about that. I'm just sharing what works for me and what I have a fun time doing. And I kind of challenge myself with that a little bit. This week I happened to be on a quick trip to Arizona. So to kind of start off with the week and just a lot going on this week. And so for me, kind of a little bit more journaling happening. I wanted to have this little feature here. Now, this little tag here is from an older stamp set. It was literally sitting, I have this little tray that sits up here just kind of with some random things that don't really have a home. And this tag was in there from another project I'd done another time. And I liked it and I thought it'd be fun. I keep moving my table. I'm so sorry. Put a hole in the right now, which is a printable from the January kit. And then, tied this together. So this kind of moves, but you still have some journaling opportunity underneath. Now you can do hard things as part of that quote notepad. Gosh, that's a great little feature. I'm having a lot of fun with this. This is super great to have around. I'm so glad it's just some random quotes. I mean, and who doesn't love quotes? I mean, every day is a fresh start, right? Love that. So you're going to find these kind of randomly splattered across these pages this month because I loved it so much. I use the puffy stickers here, which are, I know I kind of keep gushing. I don't know. I find like I just sort of rediscovered, it's hard to explain, but I sort of feel like I rediscovered just some creativity. And so when I pulled out some of the newer products that I haven't really had a chance to have much interaction with, I found a lot of joy in it. So you're hearing some honest to goodness joy in the creating. So really did love these Puffy Alphas. They're super slim and tall. Great font. And then I used the Stamp Society stamp set to create my Arizona tag. And photos there with my sister. This is washi tape from the beginner planner kit. And then this was my day at scrapbook.com and some very dear friends there. And I have more about that coming up very soon. Okay, so this is from influence from Heidi's video series this month. And I had a lot of fun with this and wasn't sure I was going to use it. But then I'm like, I have all these photos I would really like to add to my planner. Now, I will probably also mini album these, but I wanted them here. And so I followed her directions for this little openable. But then right back behind here is this place for some different aspects and ephemera from my trip. And I just loved, because like I'll grab these things on my trip, right? And a lot of times I won't do anything with them. This was a clever idea to have this time so that I could just then pop them right inside the little pocket area behind here. Now this is supposed to be, okay, so supposed to be dropping in the shop this next week, this little ledger pad here. So be watching for that, but just a lot. Now it kind of made my page a little heavy, but I'm okay with that. I'm owning it. And that's probably one of the nice things about having these inserts now that really only fit 3 months. You're not trying to fit a whole year in here. I finished the week off with using the tag for my journaling, added a photo in here, and then these vellum envelopes that are in the shop. And I had some very, very secret private journaling I wanted to have on this page, but I didn't want it out. And then I used the Keep Smiling, that is from the Stop the Blur printable, and use that as a closable. And then just added some more of the January caption stamps down there below. So then that takes us to the middle of the month. This is January 17th through 23. And I got super bright, and here's how this page played out. I've been asked recently, well, I don't know if I was asked, it's kind of a discussion I had on my stories with someone who does Stop the Blur, but we all kind of get there, right? It's like, oh, I'm feeling pretty behind. I got so much to catch up on. And I understand that, and I don't want to put any pressure on that. One of the things I tried to share was that, sometimes I will leave all 4 pages blank until the end of the month. I don't love that, and I believe I've talked about that on here before. What happened this month was there were a couple, for example, like this whole section here, I did this at one time, one day, because I was going through my camera roll and I just pulled these photos off and I printed them and I did this. So in the middle of all this, that was done all by itself. I did the same thing here with my daughter's baby shower. I was just wanting to play with some stamps. I had this photo here. And so literally I got like this done one afternoon just with some downtime that I had. And so when I came back to this page later on, that was it, right? Nothing else was on the page. And so I felt like having these little chunks already done really kind of eased up the pressure on me to get the whole week done. And I hope to do that better this month. And I kind of have. I might even kind of sneak February to you for a second. Yeah, see, there's a little February page there. Yeah, see, I got little chunks going on already. And maybe that's just what I'm going to call them, just little chunks of days done. And I really, really did honestly enjoy having that on these pages this last month. Okay, this is a little pocket from a previous kit. I want to say maybe December. I'm not for sure. And then I just had some fun using that hyped stamp to add some detail to it. That was enjoyable. I used the vellum sticker paper to stamp this big hello out because I had the baby over here and I wanted them to play together. I realized after I did it, I used a different color ink and I just decided to embrace it. It was okay. And then this right here was literally an open space on my page. I just didn't have anything else to put there. So I layered these stamps together. This is from Stamp Society from January, and it's just a design feature is all it is. One of the reasons for that is because I had this hidden journaling right here, and I had a lot of journaling that took place there. I ended up putting this little focus printable down here at the bottom, and then now this just tucks right into the top of that focus and keeps that closed, which I loved. I have these little hearts here that literally, again, kind of like my tray from previously, I kind of had them just laying around from a previous project. And so I just trimmed them to 3 and added them. They're scrapbook.com's Slimline Borders, number 2. It's one of my favorite little features to play with right now. Okay, so here on this little tray, this is a ledger circle. Be watching for that too. Fingers crossed, people, that it's coming out really soon. I went ahead and took a chance and used it here. But I used the puffy stickers right here to elevate this little prayer here. And then I used it again for this live YouTube that I wanted to talk about here on my Thursday portion of my page. And just the rest is sort of straightforward. Then, like I said, I already had this done. I used one of these stencils that I keep kind of, I guess I might need to do a feature on the stencils because I am grabbing these quite a bit. So I think, yeah, that's that one right there. No, it might not be that one right there. I don't know. It's in here somewhere, but it's one of the organic shapes, I think. But you get the idea here. This one just seems kind of big. Just set this on my page, and I went over it with an ink dauber and some of the dried Marigold Distress Oxide, just to give a little bit of a background, and then use that for a journaling spot on my page. Filled in a lot of these spaces here with stamping this month. Of course, I made this tag. That was just a lot of fun. I just love having these tags like this and dates and just kind of really giving a lot of emphasis to maybe what happened on a very special day. A lot of, I don't know if you can see that, but a lot of stamp work right there in the middle of that Saturday. And then I have a little bit of hidden journaling here again. And you know, I don't always have hidden journaling because I don't want somebody to see it. Just sometimes I'd rather look at a stamped element versus my writing. And maybe some of you can relate to that. Okay, last week, we're going to wrap it up here with this week, January 24 to 30. Sometimes, guys, it's okay to not have the happiest kind of journaling on your page, because then what you get to do is when you come back someday and you read it, then you realize how far you've come. Anyway, that's how I look at it. Using the quote pad card, keep going here as a little flap for some journaling. That was fun. Had a Instagram post that someone sent me that really was speaking to me. So I printed it up and had it now be part of my page and some journaling. Did a square photo here. So when I do my square photos, they're just 2x2 is how I size those down. I did that background stenciling again with some stamp work this time and a bit of journaling. The happiest people don't have the best of everything. They just make the best of everything. This was from the January printable. Great little quote there. And an older stamp here. I want to say that is from Heidi Swapp Classic Stamp. Great stamp set. Oh my word. I love that. And this is a really straightforward page, except say for one thing. I used the scrapbook.com nested pocket dies to make this pocket here. It was interesting. This one particular day, and see, I'm always going to remember this, just even by the Never Too Late, which is January Captions stamp. And then I said here for prayer. This particular day, I had several people send me prayers. And I am in a text form, and I wanted to have them in my book. I wanted to remember what beautiful words people were speaking over us and our family. So this little pocket here gives it special designation, and plus it's just a great excuse to use that nested die set. And I used a little part of the captions stamp here. I think you can see that. And then, of course, gosh, those quote pads. Life is like a game of chess. I don't know how to play chess. If that doesn't sum up my life right now, I don't know what does. Lots of journaling here. And again, this is a new feature that, crossing our fingers, is coming out soon. And me and my homies watching Mahomes. That's what we were doing there. So that's a look at January. And I hope this gave you some insight and some inspiration to get your January pages done. It's such a blessing and such a joy to have these different insights on these pages, I think. And this planner does not replace my scrapbooking. My scrapbooking is a separate entity from this. This is a very personal project for me. This is for me. This is what I want to go back to and look at in months and weeks to come. So, as always, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all your comments and your input and your questions. You guys make this community absolutely amazing. And I will see you in the next video.